Tell me, is it whack up in the air? Rapping scattered off the gear. I can map him, yeah, yeah. It's like a tracker, get distracted, send him back like in the mail. Not a fraction of them real. Catch him lacking, run the drill. Running through the shit like a motherfucking dage.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. On this one, going to be hopefully putting this rear cradle in. You would have seen on one of the other episodes, I got to this stage where Tom helped me put in these solid bushings and cut out the ball joints. They've been done. I put the coilovers on, put these freaking lockout bars on, or they're tension arms or traction rods or something rather. They go on. I've got to buy a couple more parts to finish it off, but I'm going to move the 180 out, get this cradle up in the car by lowering the car down onto it, bolted in. Happy days. That will be freaking sick, because then it's going to be a rolling shell again. It's been a bit of a shit start today. Woke up at 4:20 a.m. ready to go to the downshift meet, but obviously it's been pissing down and it's just like torrential rain. And then they didn't cancel the event, but we decided not to go, and I don't know why they didn't cancel it. They should have just cancelled it. They're doing like a racing circuit event in the in the rain, and like you can't race in the rain, so they should have just cancelled it or postponed it or something like that. But they didn't anyway. Some people went, one person crashed, a couple people spun out. But it's just not worth the risk, us taking our cars up there and then almost crashing and like something really bad happening. Even just getting there, like the rain was just like monsoonal. So anyway, didn't end up going to that. So the 180's down here. I figured out why it was smoking as well. The oil was quite low, so I topped the oil up. 180's 100%. Gonna get that out of the way though. Start working on this 32 in this episode, and then the S13Q sound. Hello darkness, my old friend. Yeah, the S13. You would have seen on the episode of the morning session. S13 has a clutch issue where I'm pretty sure it's heat related, because that's the way it was behaving. It's just slipping when it gets hot, so you have to figure out what that is. Either the pedal has something to do with it, like not being wound in enough so that the pickup point's low enough. I can't even talk. Or it's the slave cylinder that's inside. It's internal mounted slave cylinder, and then also it could have air in the lines. I'm gonna play around with that later on. It's really a later on job, but this is the exciting part, the R32. So the front end's almost done. Got to grab a couple of bolts to finish off a couple of things, but holy shit, it's going to be a rolling show at the end of this episode, I'll tell you that much. And then we can roll this out and start prepping for paint for the engine bay, paint for the interior, probably sand back the outside or something, do some guards and stuff, fit the wheels. That's gonna be sick. And then do the roll cage, you know, start piecing it together. So let's get stuck into putting this freaking cradle in. These wheels are popping. Let's go for a little drive up to the house and park this beast in its home in the back cave. Well, looks like the 180's got a pretty half decent oil leak. Gonna have to attend to that at some stage. That's probably why the oil was so low. Anyway, now for the rear cradle. Gonna put those coils on, make sure everything's pretty sweet, roll it around here, lower the car down on it, bop, 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 and should be on. And we'll put some wheels on the front just to have a look. Pretty exciting, eh? Alright, I'm gonna do that now. Alrighty, I've just left them loose so that I can get under there and position them, twist them around so they line up with the holes. But basically, with the rear cradle, you've got your bushings. Normally these are rubber and a metal outer, but these are the solid GkTech solid bushings. These are good so that they don't have any play at all. So there's two at the back and then two at the front there. So these line up with these pins that are sticking out, that are like pretty secure. So they slide into that bushing, slide straight up, stick out the bottom, nut on the bottom, tighten it up, and yeah, there's just 4 of those. And then there's also these brackets here that go on, that I'll figure out how they go. But conveniently, there's an R32 right there that I can look at if I need to look at anything, or Google, either way. But this 32 is pretty much done. It's Tom's got it back, so it's all running now, you would see in his video. And the dump pipe is the last thing to do. Hayden's got that at the shop. Kamikaze Motorsports welding like a flexible, what do you call it? A flexi joiner into it so that it will fit, because the external wastegate is all one piece with the dump pipe at the moment. So if you put the flexi in, it'll line up and it'll be sweet, because it did have a crack in it. Once that's done, he's pretty much done. Just needs a new battery because the old one was stuffed, and yeah, that's done. So pretty cool. So I just brought it down so I can get it a bit closer, and hopefully I can do it with the coilovers. Might be a little bit tricky, but they've got to go home up into here, and obviously I've got to get rid of that handle off the jack there. But hopefully I can just line this up a bit closer and lower it onto there, give it a wriggle, pop it straight in, hopefully. Alright, so it just dropped into place, which is beautiful, but my torch was sitting right there, and it's not quite small enough to fit in that gap, so it took the full weight of the shell, but it's still hanging together, hopefully. Alright, so I just got all the nuts started, some big boy washers, and then all 4 pickups are holding on. Figured out the way around these brackets go, so that's nice. But now I'll tighten up all 4 bolts, and it will just lift the subframe up that little bit more, and then I can bolt off these and those, and then it will be in. And then I'm going to put the coilovers in. There wasn't enough room to do it before, but that's alright. It should be pretty straightforward doing it this way anyway. I just got to put the, what do you call it, jack, the transmission jack under the wheel and jack it up to get the car to go, to get the tyre to lift up enough to get the bloody top bolts of the coilover in. But yeah, it's freaking sick, looking pretty bling. I'm just going to tighten these bolts up. Alrighty guys, so tonight I forgot to film stuff, but basically I just dropped the car down and bolted up the coilover bolts. There's just 2 bolts that go in the top. You can't even see. There's 2 bolts, threads that come through the top there, and you put the nuts on, and that's the coilovers bolted in. So that's the last thing for the rear end. That's all. Actually, wait, I tell a lie. I'm just waiting on some GkTech parts to do the lockout bar. I'll show you that in another episode. And then the front, Matt from Can't Make Revive, he's a freaking legend, and he's gonna machine me up a spacer plate here that goes in the drive shaft. Because the rack's extended, you need a spacer in here so that it obviously reaches the power steering. So yeah, 2 of these aren't going to be enough, so it's a tiny bit more, but he's going to machine me a whole plate that's going to work with some press-in bushings, and that's going to be on. And so then at that stage I can figure out what tie rod ends I need and the spacing, and then I can also gotta get some bolts for here, finish off these caster arms, and then the front will be done, other than the brake lines. So there will be a rolling shell after that. Super excited for that stage, and it looks freaking gangster with these wheels, eh? Like, it's not going to be that much lock once the arms are on there. I'll have a little bit less, but it's still going to be pretty gnarly, and I reckon it's going to be about there somewhere. But the car's not on the ground yet, so I'm guessing I can't see the exact camber. I could drop it down more, but worry about all that later. The wheels look sick, and yeah, the car looks freaking awesome. It's starting to take shape. Wheels are so important on a car, and yeah, gonna probably start on prepping the engine bay next, and then prepping the inside of the car, because that's all gonna get sprayed, and then the roll cage will go in. Seats, yeah, you don't need much in the interior. Pretty much a seat, a steering wheel, a dash, roll cage, you're done. What else could you need? And yeah, it's exciting. So I'm going to wrap this one up here. Thanks heaps for watching, guys, and another cool episode. Hope you're enjoying the build, because I'm freaking getting super excited. Look at the bloody dual caliper rear. Oh shit, I'm so happy with how it's turning out, and I'm super keen to see where it ends up. I hope you guys are too. Make sure you hit the like button, drop a comment below, and hit that subscribe button.